Jacob.
Hi guys.
What are you doing?
Singing.
Don't you have homework?
Yeah, but it's hard.
Why is it hard?
It's history.
What are you learning?
By amendments.
That's alright, we can help you.
So what are amendments?
Amendments are basically rights that every U.S. citizen has.
Such as the First Amendment, freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition.
Oh, so I can say whatever I want?
Kind of, but like with limitations. And then you have your Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms.
What does that mean?
It means that you have the ability to have guns, own them, and buy them. But you don't have to worry about that right now. You can't buy a gun until you're at least 18.
What's the Third Amendment?
All there really is that soldiers can't stay at your house unless you allow them to.
Yeah, because back in the day, soldiers would just come in your house and you had to provide for them. You also have your Fourth Amendment, which prohibits unreasonable searches.
Which means that teachers can't really check your bag unless they have a strong reason for it.
Yeah, and police officers cannot come into your house unless they have a search warrant.
The Fifth Amendment protects you from incriminating yourself.
Yeah, so like, you have the right to remain silent. And then the Sixth Amendment is super convenient for criminals because they have the right to a speedy and public trial.
And the Seventh Amendment is just the right to a jury trial.
So what's the Eighth Amendment?
Well, the Eighth Amendment is just so that the government cannot cruelly punish criminals.
Yeah, that's why the death penalty is really criticized in some places.
And the Ninth Amendment?
The Ninth Amendment is rights that aren't in the Constitution, but every citizen has.
Yeah.
The 10th Amendment is powers that the federal government has, and it only has those powers because the Constitution allows it to have those powers.
What's the 11th Amendment?
Basically, a state cannot be sued by someone from another state.
What's the 12th Amendment?
It provides the Electoral College to use different ballots for voting for president and vice president.
The 13th Amendment is awesome because it ended slavery.
I learned about slavery.
Really?
So, the 14th Amendment is pretty much anybody that was born in the United States becomes a citizen, or anybody naturalized in the United States.
Yeah, like you and I, we were born in the U.S., so we are U.S. citizens.
What's the 15th Amendment?
The 15th Amendment basically says that suffrage cannot be denied to anyone because of race, color, or previous enslavement.
What's suffrage?
Suffrage is pretty much just the right to vote.
What's the 16th Amendment?
The 16th Amendment gave federal government the power to levy a tax.
Yep. Then there's the 17th Amendment, which provided direct election for U.S. senators.
What's the 18th Amendment?
The 18th Amendment was the start of Prohibition.
What's prohibition?
Well, prohibition is basically the fact that no one was allowed to sell or produce any alcohol.
What's alcohol?
It's a cold one, mate.
That's a story for another time.
Sorry.
But the 19th Amendment is women's suffrage.
What's women's suffrage?
It just allowed women to vote. So, like, now Ashley can vote.
Yep.
What's the 20th Amendment?
The 20th Amendment just set the inauguration date for January 20th.
What's the 21st Amendment?
The 21st Amendment cancels out the 18th Amendment and ends prohibition.
So now you can have a quota.
Not until you're 21.
What's the 22nd Amendment?
It limited presidents to 2 terms. So hopefully Donald Trump can leave quick.
Now, before you even ask, the 23rd Amendment granted voters in Washington to be able to vote for president and vice president.
So 24th Amendment outlawed poll taxes in national elections.
The 25th Amendment is presidential successions and procedures.
The 26th Amendment lowered the voting age to 18, so soon you'll hopefully be able to vote.
Just like Bradley and I.
Okay. What's the last amendment?
The last amendment, buddy, banned Congress from increasing its member salaries until the next election. Come on. Well, now that you know your amendments, your homework should be a lot easier.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, guys.
What are you learning?
My amendments.
Oh, your amendment. It's because I thought you forgot your line.
All amendments.
Amendments are basically...
What, how am I gonna? Yeah, it ended slavery. Is that what I'm gonna do?
I learned about